Alright, so now I want to go in and do some more detailing around this collar. I like the texture there, but it's just coming out a bit too clean. And I want to kind of do the same treatment that we did for this crackling detail. So let's give that a whirl. So what I'm going to do is going to uncache this layer and then copy and paste this detail and drag it out. I'll recache this layer. And I'm going to change the mask. So I'm going to grab this guy here, fill with black, and then this guy here, fill with white. Let's see how that looks. Pretty good. But like before, we're getting those seams, so I just want to paint those out. Like so. Not too worried about that edge. We're not going to see it. Just trying to get this blend to feel a bit more organic. Like so. The difference though is I don't want these cracks to be too white. In fact, it's probably too much as is. So I'm going to fade this screen back because I mainly just want it in the displacement detail. So you get a small hint of it. So without it and with it, it's a subtle difference, but combined with the spec and the displacement, it's going to give a much better result. And let's group these guys. Next thing I want to do is add some breakup to this hide section here. No, again, nothing crazy, just something that'll just break it up a bit more and make it look less perfectly clean. But I want something broad, so I'm going to go into my texture library and look at some concrete to see if I can see something that is worthy of the breakup that I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't think concrete is going to cut it. also a bit noisy, so let's go back and look at something else. Let's look at plaster. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go into my image manager and I'm going to go into my layers and create a brand new layer. Called breakup. Go to my image manager, drag it in, and I'm going to paint this right in there. Full on paint it in. Like so. Let's see how that looks. Cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want this to read a bit better. And there. Actually, it's a little too much weathering, that piece there, so I'm going to find a section that reads a bit better. Something like that. Where it's just kind of a discoloration more than it is anything else. Again, it can be pretty gestural because I just want the essence of it. That feels better. And then I'm going to do a luminance and an overlay. I want to level this up a bit, get a little bit more out of it. There we go. So that's reading really nicely. So we're getting away from that perfectly clean look and getting into just that slight breakup. And if it's too heavy, we can always add a mask. And with a really soft brush, fade some of it back, like so. So it still feels relatively new, but just that extra breakup gives it just a little bit more realism. And I'm going to purposely not do it to this shell because we're getting a nice balance with this. This feels nice and leathery, but kind of a raw hide leather, whereas I want this to feel much more fabricated. And it's going to be shiny, and it's going to be really hard leather that you can almost knock on. So I want to maintain that kind of cleanliness of it, and keep the weathering to certain kind of features, so it doesn't all get that kind of weathered look. And you want to be careful with that. You want to always maintain a balance when you're creating your textures. If I were to apply this breakup methodology to everything, then everything's going to have this frequency to it. That's going to bring it into this weird non-photoreal realm, and it just looks very arbitrary and forced. So I'm being very selective where I put that stuff. And this concludes the color maps for the clothing and the armor. So hope you guys picked up a couple cool techniques. I'm going to end this demo, and in the next one we're going to go into how we take all these color maps and convert them into specular and displacement maps.